Year 2010 was one of the toughest years as far as immigration options worldwide, especially for the skilled professionals, is concerned. All the countries where skilled professionals love to migrate, be it Australia or Canada or New Zealand for that matter, UK, all the countries restricted the options and they changed the selection criteria, they changed the occupation list. In fact, when one looks back, the changes that happened in 2010, the story can be summarized as simply very unwelcoming, very depressing scenario as far as immigration options worldwide are concerned. Let's start with UK. UK Tier 1 visa, a very popular option among professionals, finance and especially IT professionals. You look at Australia, and Australia, it seems, is still looking for direction its immigration policy should take. Earlier Prime Minister wanted and welcomed a big Australia philosophy. The new Prime Minister said that Australia doesn't need to be a big Australia and Australia is good enough being what it is. And coupled with the fact that the students' policies in terms of immigration for students who studied in Australia, they were also restricted. Overall, situation became so tough that Australia has suffered a negative immigration inflow for the first time in many years. And the future doesn't look very promising because it seems even right now the English language requirements becoming more restrictive than ever before, and the occupation list may be done away with, or if at all it's not done away with, it may lose the importance it has right now. There is already no MODL, there is no skill shortage list. So overall, the scenario is very uncertain as far as Australia is concerned. This is all that happened in the year 2010. You look at Canada, and the biggest shock of the year 2010 as far as Canada is concerned is that IT professionals were taken off the list. Occupation list in demand was, or list of occupations that are open for migration as it's popularly called, it was further cut down to just 29 occupations very recently. And to top it all, the Canadian government opened quota within quota policy. First, it never used to happen in case of Canada. There was, annual quota. Now they have a annual quota of just 20,000 visas that will be issued for skilled professionals. And even within those 20,000, there's just a limit of 1,000 visas per occupation for which the immigration is open. Now this created a very difficult scenario, and when one looks at those 29 occupations that are open for occupation for immigration, one simply finds that majority of them are health occupations, IT professionals are not on the list, and rest are trade occupations. So where does one go? Engineers are not there, IT professionals are not there, marketing professionals and advertising and PR professionals, there was a small window that was opened up in the form of one of the occupations that was listed, but that was the quota of 1,000 for that particular occupation was filled in as early as within 3 to 4 months of the opening of the quota for that particular occupation. So overall, even right now as we look at it, there are not many opportunities in the current occupation list as far as generic occupations like marketing, public relations, advertising professionals, or for that matter specific occupations like IT professionals or engineering occupations like mechanical engineers, civil engineers, or you could talk about even electrical or electronic engineers. So overall, the scenario as far as the current occupation list is concerned is again not very optimistic. That takes us to the last country that one normally talks about. We talk about New Zealand. Now in New Zealand again, the way the entire policy is structured and the way it's being carried on right now, it's no surprise that immigration to New Zealand again suffered and had a negative growth this year. New Zealanders are migrating to Australia. At the same time, New Zealand per se, as per the policies that they have right now, they are not very encouraging except to IT professionals. So IT professionals are not the only ones who are looking for migration. You have a whole lot of people engineers in various streams. You have accountants, chartered accountants and others in various streams who are looking for migration. So unless, really speaking, New Zealand doesn't have a relook at its policy, really speaking, there are tough times ahead for New Zealand, times to come as far as skilled professionals are concerned. So overall, 2010 was an year, where really speaking, the restriction levels were enhanced. It was made more difficult for skilled professionals to migrate to these countries. People often talk about Denmark green card also, but Denmark green card was never a popular destination simply for the reason that Danish requirement is a very major key requirement, and especially post landing and after they land in Denmark, ultimately people need to do jobs, and at that time not knowing Danish language is a big and major drawback as far as Denmark green card is concerned. Overall situation was such in case of Denmark green card, again for majority of occupations, for one to qualify, one really needs to be a master's degree holder. So these are the 5 major destinations for which immigration was open. And overall situation was not at all good. It looks as if the countries do not want people to migrate, and they do not want skilled professionals to come into their countries anymore. But is that really true? Because when one looks at the numbers of people who are getting in, among the major destinations, Australia and New Zealand have suffered a negative immigration growth, and their employment outlook already says, their employer outlook already says that they have acute shortage of manpower in almost all the skills in years to come. So how are they going to fulfill this requirement unless, really speaking, position as far as the respective government positions, as far as their outlook on really speaking enlarging the scope for skilled professionals to migrate to their countries, unless that position is not changed, these countries are in for a very major demographic shock. The industries in their respective countries will suffer a negative growth, and the cost of hiring locals will go up. Countries like New Zealand, small countries like New Zealand face still more difficult situation, because unless they do not have skilled professionals coming in from all streams, really speaking, it will continue to be a country that's dependent only on agriculture background and on tourism. A country cannot, really speaking, make its place in the world simply dependent on 2 sectors or 2 industries. So overall, in fact, the indications are coming in that things will change for better, and I will talk a little bit more about immigration outlook in 2011 very shortly.